The January 6th committee investigating the riots in the Capitol have said that now they have evidence that Donald Trump committed crimes, including a repeat offense for him, obstruction, also fraud. Now, for those of you getting real excited about possible criminal charges, simmer down, because we're talking about mostly Democrats here who are pretty feckless. And there's a reason why they're bringing up the criminality of Trump. It's not really about Trump, it's really about ensuring that they get cooperation among those who are closely connected to Trump. Now, this again is related to Trump's efforts to overturn the results of the 2020 presidential election. The committee also subpoenaed Don Jr.'s girlfriend, Kimberly Guilfoyle, which I'll give you details of in just a moment. But before we get to those details, let's go back to what they're accusing Trump of and how it relates to people close to him. This week's filing from the January 6th committee said the evidence supports an inference that Trump and his allies entered into an agreement to defraud the US by interfering with Congress's election certification process, disseminating false information about election fraud, and pressuring state officials to alter state election results and federal officials to assist in that effort. So the committee specifically pointed to Trump's attempts to convince Mike Pence, for instance, to reject states or slates of electors coming from battleground states that Biden won. The court filing also, by the way, referenced Judge Amit Mehta's ruling last month, in which he said it was plausible to conclude that Trump entered into a conspiracy with some of the rioters on January 6th, including members of far-right groups like the Proud Boys and the Oath Keepers. Just to give you a little taste of the judge's ruling, he indicated that Trump's actions in the days and hours preceding the riot could reasonably be viewed as a call for collective action, and that he and his followers acted toward a common goal. That is the essence of a civil conspiracy, he wrote in his 112-page ruling. Now, then there's common law fraud, another accusation that the panel says that they have evidence of. And what does that mean? Well, the document went on to say that Trump and members of his campaign engaged in common law fraud in connection to their efforts to subvert the 2020 election results. Common law fraud is defined in DC as a false representation in reference to material fact made with knowledge of its falsity with the intent to deceive, and action is taken in reliance upon the representation. Okay, so that's what they're accusing Trump of. And so some might say, they have evidence of these things. These are serious charges. Does this mean he's gonna be indicted? No. So far, Trump has not been charged. He has not been indicted. This is all an effort to get someone close to him to participate in this investigation, and that's Eastman, okay? So Thursday's filing, again, not an indictment and does not change or charge Trump with a crime. It comes as part of the January 6th committee's ongoing legal battle with the former law professor and Trump legal advisor, John Eastman, who has made broad claims of privilege while refusing to cooperate with the panel's investigation. The committee's filing on Thursday was made in opposition to those claims. So they're just trying to get homeboy to cooperate. That's what this is really about. And fine, I'm okay with that. But I really hate the way the press has been portraying this story, making it appear as though like, ooh, the panel, they're making so much progress. Trump might be behind bars soon. He might be behind, he's not. He's not gonna be behind bars, Jake Tapper. You know it, I know it, the American people know it. Report the story the way that you should, which is accurately.
Yeah, so I'm gonna back up what Anna said about why in reality, the criminal charges are now less likely, they're more likely. Not because of this news, but because of other developments. But first, John Eastman was saying that, hey, listen, I've got privilege documents here, and because I talked to the president, I should get to have the privilege of not sharing them with you. He just made it a curious case because he said it's white privilege. And because I'm white, I don't have to give you the documents.
That's
no,
not
I'm
true.
kidding.
Okay.
But it's Trump people, so it's not impossible. All right, no, seriously, guys. Is it fraud in regards to the election? Absolutely. It's not that Trump didn't do it. I don't want you to mistake what we're saying. We're just saying that Democrats and prosecutors overall, like the establishment, is so weak that it doesn't matter how overwhelming the evidence is, they'd never have the courage to actually criminally prosecute him. That's our thesis. We'll see, right? But in terms of the evidence, think about it this way. They were trying to get Pence to not accept the results of the election. Now, he doesn't even have constitutional authority to do that, but they were saying it doesn't matter. Just pretend and just don't accept it. Don't go through the ceremonial role, and we'll try to steal the election in other ways. And so if you think about it this way, if somebody came in and said, hey, Mike Pence, I'm gonna give you $10 million, but do not certify the election, would that be fraud in regards to the 2020 election? Well, totally. Of course it would. There's no one who thinks it wouldn't. And would they be criminally prosecuted? Well, you imagine, although in America, the rich never get prosecuted. So if you're not offering $10 million, but you're pressuring Pence to do the same thing through other means of coercion, it's still illegal. It doesn't have to be a bribe. You're saying, do this fraud for me, okay? Make sure that we do not certify the election as you're supposed to, break the law on our behalf. It's definitely criminal. The judge has said that it is criminal. So those are not the issues. The issue is whether anyone in the establishment has like one iota of courage. And so far the answer has been an overwhelming no. And so while the January 6th committee is high-stepping about that they put it in a memo, right? And wow, it's a legal document we're handing in another case, right? The Manhattan DA's office, which is actually looking into criminal charges against Trump, is apparently going to drop everything. Their two top prosecutors quit in disgust just a couple of days ago. There's a new prosecutor at the Manhattan DA's office. I don't know if Democrats told him to stand down. I don't know why he's doing it, but and why are we blaming Democrats? That's the Republicans did this, Trump did this, and the Democrats tell you all the time how opposed to Trump they are. So if you're new to American politics, you'd be confused, right? No, historically, Republicans commit crimes, war crimes, torture, warrantless wiretapping, financial crimes, etc. Democrats come in and say, that's it, they're free to go. Don't worry about it, we're never gonna prosecute. And Obama had the legendary line, we don't look backwards, we look forwards. Well, all crimes by definition are in the past. So that was a get out of jail free card. That is what Democrats do every time. And that is what it looks like they're in the middle of doing now. So a lot of this is marketing for them. And so we would be shocked if they actually prosecuted the criminal Donald Trump. But you should know that there is one thing Trump is telling the truth about. He says 1,000 times over, there was fraud in these elections. Well, ironically, it's true. He's the one who committed it.
Right, that's true. Now, one of the other individuals that the panel is trying to get to cooperate is Kimberly Guilfoyle. At first, she agreed to a voluntary interview, but she walked out on it. She caught some feelings, I guess. And so now they have decided to subpoena Guilfoyle, who is, of course, Don Jr.'s girlfriend. Now, here's what they argue. This is from Representative Benny Thompson, who is the chair of the committee. Ms. Guilfoyle met with Donald Trump inside the White House, spoke at the rally that took place before the riot on January 6th, and apparently played a key role in organizing and raising funds for the event. The select committee is seeking information from her about these and other matters. Because Guilfoyle backed out of her original commitment to provide a voluntary interview, we are issuing today's subpoena that will compel her to testify. We expect her to comply with the law and cooperate. You should not expect that from anybody associated with Donald Trump. I'm sure she's gonna fight it. I'm sure she's also going to allege executive privilege. But in certain documents, she bragged about having raised quite a bit of money for the rally that happened right before the riots. She even bragged about one donor giving $3 million, which is, imagine spending $3 million to fund one of Trump's rally, fund any rally, like tax the rich. It's like crazy.
Kimberly Guilfoyle is like patient zero for what's wrong with the American establishment political class. She was originally married to Gavin Newsom, the governor of California. Then she went and worked at Fox News, and now she's going out with Donald Trump Jr. I mean, she's a walking, living, breathing symbol of the American establishment and their grotesque corruption and their obsession with money and lies. Anyways, I think Joshua James' part of this story is even more interesting. So let's go to that, Anna, because a guy has turned evidence against them and taken a huge prison. It looks like he's going to get a huge prison sentence. So I'm really surprised by this, and it looks like they might have really good evidence about actual sedition. Thanks for watching The Young Turks. Really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.